Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's close to my heart, a topic that's absolutely crucial for your emotional well-being, recognizing and addressing the signs of an emotionally draining relationship. Now, I believe that relationships should uplift us, inspire us, and bring joy into our lives. But sometimes, my dears, relationships can leave us feeling depleted, exhausted, and emotionally wrung out. If you've ever felt constantly overwhelmed or drained in your relationship, like you're pouring from an empty cup, this video is for you. We're going to walk through 10 telltale signs of an emotionally draining relationship, and more importantly, we're going to talk about what you can do to reclaim your emotional well-being. Make sure to watch till the very end, because you deserve a love that feeds your soul, not one that leaves you feeling empty. Chapter 1. Constant criticism. Now, the first sign we're going to talk about is constant criticism. Think about it. Words have power. They have the power to build us up, and they have the power to tear us down. And in a relationship, feeling constantly criticized, constantly nitpicked, can chip away at your sense of self-worth. It's like a slow drip, drip, drip of negativity that erodes your confidence and leaves you feeling emotionally raw. It's one thing if your partner offers constructive feedback once in a while. We all need that, right? But if it feels like every little thing you do is met with disapproval or judgment, that's a major red flag. It can make you start to doubt yourself, question your every decision, and make you feel like you're never good enough. And let me tell you something. You are enough. You are more than enough, just as you are. Don't ever forget that. A loving partner should make you feel celebrated, not constantly scrutinized. They should see the best in you, even when you're struggling to see it in yourself. So if you're constantly on the receiving end of criticism, it's time to have a serious conversation about respect and healthy communication. Because a relationship where you're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to be yourself for fear of judgment, is a relationship that's slowly draining your spirit. Chapter 2. A lack of support. Where's your cheerleader? This next sign is so important. It's the lack of support. See, relationships thrive on mutual support. It's about being there for each other through thick and thin, celebrating the victories, and offering comfort and encouragement during the tough times. It's about knowing that someone has your back, no matter what. But when that support is missing, it can be incredibly isolating and emotionally draining. Imagine going through a challenging time, pouring your heart out to your partner and being met with indifference or even worse, told to get over it. Or imagine sharing a dream, a goal you're excited about, and your partner responds with skepticism or negativity. Those moments, my dears, they sting. And when they happen repeatedly, they can leave you feeling emotionally abandoned, like you're facing life's storms all alone. Remember, a loving partner should be your biggest cheerleader, your safe haven, the one person who believes in you even when you doubt yourself. They should be your rock, your shoulder to cry on. So, if you find yourself constantly giving but rarely receiving support, it's time to ask yourself why. Is this a pattern in your relationship? And more importantly, is this a dynamic you're willing to continue living with? Chapter 3. Emotional manipulation. Are you being controlled? Now, this next sign is a big one, and it's often subtle and difficult to spot. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation can take many forms, but it often involves tactics like guilt-tripping, gaslighting, and playing the victim to control your emotions and get their way. Think about it. Have you ever felt pressured to do something you didn't want to do because your partner made you feel guilty? Have you ever questioned your own sanity or memory because your partner insists that things happen differently than you remember? These are classic signs of emotional manipulation, and they can leave you feeling emotionally exhausted and completely off balance. You see, emotional manipulators are masters at twisting the narrative, making you doubt yourself and your perceptions. They'll make you feel responsible for their emotions, for their happiness, even for their own bad behavior. And over time, this constant emotional tug-of-war can leave you feeling drained, depleted, and unsure of your own reality. Remember, my dears, you deserve to be in a relationship where your voice is heard, your feelings are validated, and your boundaries are respected. Don't ever let anyone make you doubt your own sanity or manipulate you into doing things that go against your values. You are strong, you are capable, and you deserve a love that honors your heart and your mind. Chapter 4. Feeling unappreciated. Do they even see you? The fourth sign we're going to explore is feeling unappreciated. You know, it's a fundamental human need to feel valued, to feel seen and appreciated for who we are and what we bring to the table. And in a relationship, feeling appreciated is like sunshine. It nourishes our hearts, it helps us blossom, it strengthens the bond. But when that appreciation is missing, it can be incredibly disheartening. It's like a slow fade to gray, a dimming of the light within. You might find yourself questioning your worth, wondering if you're doing enough, if you're enough. And let me tell you something, you are enough. You are more than enough. Now, feeling unappreciated can manifest in many ways. Maybe your partner takes you for granted, never acknowledging the little things you do or the sacrifices you make. Maybe they dismiss your feelings or minimize your accomplishments. Or maybe they just don't seem to notice you, really see you, for the amazing person you are. Over time, this lack of appreciation can chip away at your self-esteem, leaving you feeling emotionally depleted and invisible. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who cherishes you, who sees your worth, who celebrates your strengths, and who appreciates all the unique and wonderful qualities you bring to the relationship. Don't settle for anything less. Chapter 5. One-sided effort. Is it always you? Let's talk about the fifth red flag, one-sided effort. Because relationships, my dears, are a two-way street. They require effort, commitment, and a willingness to give and receive from both partners. But sometimes, we can find ourselves in relationships where we're the only ones putting in the work, the only ones making an effort to nurture the connection. Think about it. Are you always the one initiating conversations, planning dates, or expressing affection? Do you feel like you're constantly bending over backwards to please your partner while they're content to coast along, putting in minimal effort? Now, there might be times when one partner needs a little extra support or attention, and that's okay. We all go through challenging times in life, but if it becomes a pattern, if you're constantly giving and receiving little in return, it can be incredibly draining. It's like running a marathon where you're the only one running. Eventually, you're going to hit a wall. Remember, relationships should be a source of joy, not a constant source of stress and exhaustion. You deserve to be with someone who's willing to meet you halfway, who's invested in nurturing the relationship just as much as you are. Chapter 6. Constant conflict. Where's the peace? Now let's talk about red flag number 6. Frequent arguments. Look, disagreements are a natural part of any relationship. It's impossible to agree on everything all the time. But when conflict becomes the norm, when every little disagreement escalates into a major blow-up, it can create a toxic atmosphere that's emotionally draining for both partners. Think about it. Do you find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to bring up certain topics for fear of sparking another argument? Do you feel like you're always on edge, waiting for the other shoe to drop? This kind of constant tension can take a toll on your emotional well-being. It can lead to anxiety, stress, and even physical health problems. And over time, it can erode the foundation of your relationship, leaving you feeling disconnected and resentful. Remember, healthy relationships are built on a foundation of respect, communication, and a willingness to compromise. It's about resolving conflict constructively, finding common ground, and creating a safe and loving space where both partners feel heard and validated. Chapter 7. Isolation from friends and family. Are you disconnected? This next red flag is often subtle, but it can be incredibly damaging. Isolation from friends and family. You see, our loved ones, they're our lifeline. They're our support system, our cheerleaders, our sounding boards. They're the ones who know us best, who love us unconditionally, and who want what's best for us. Now, it's natural for couples to want to spend a lot of time together, especially in the early stages of a relationship. But when one partner consistently tries to isolate you from your loved ones, it's a major red flag. They might make you feel guilty for wanting to spend time with friends or family, or they might try to create conflict between you and your loved ones. This kind of controlling behavior is a way of exerting power and control over you, and it can leave you feeling isolated, alone, and emotionally drained. Remember, healthy relationships involve a balance of togetherness and independence. You shouldn't have to choose between your partner and your loved ones. You deserve to have both. Chapter 8. Walking on eggshells. Where's the authenticity? Let's talk about red flag number 8, walking on eggshells. In a healthy relationship, you should feel safe to be your authentic self, to express your thoughts and feelings openly, without fear of judgment or rejection. But when you're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do the wrong thing for fear of upsetting your partner, it creates an atmosphere of tension and unease that can be incredibly draining. Think about it. Do you find yourself censoring your words, biting your tongue, or hiding your true feelings to avoid conflict? Do you feel like you have to put on a happy face even when you're feeling down, just to keep the peace? This kind of emotional suppression takes a toll. It can lead to resentment, anxiety, and a loss of your own sense of identity. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who loves you for who you truly are, flaws and all. You shouldn't have to dim your light or hide your true self to make someone else feel comfortable. Chapter 9. Lack of communication. Are you really talking? This next red flag is so common, but it's often overlooked. A lack of communication. You see, communication is the lifeblood of any relationship. It's how we connect, how we resolve conflict, how we build intimacy and understanding. But when communication breaks down, when we stop talking to each other, really talking, it creates a chasm between us that can be difficult to bridge. Think about it. Do you find yourself constantly arguing about the same things, going around in circles without ever truly resolving the issue? Do you feel like your partner doesn't listen to you, doesn't understand you, or doesn't even try to? This lack of communication can be incredibly frustrating and emotionally draining. It can leave you feeling unheard, unseen, and disconnected from your partner. And over time, it can create a deep sense of loneliness and resentment. Remember, healthy communication is about more than just talking. It's about truly listening, about trying to understand your partner's perspective, and about being willing to compromise. Chapter 10. Feeling trapped. Is it time to leave? And finally, the 10th red flag, and perhaps the most painful feeling, trapped. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel free to be themselves, to grow, to evolve, and to leave if the relationship is no longer serving them. But sometimes we can find ourselves in relationships where we feel stuck, trapped, unable to leave for fear of the consequences. This feeling of being trapped can stem from a variety of factors, such as financial dependence, fear of being alone, or pressure from family or society. It can also be a result of emotional manipulation, where one partner uses guilt, fear, or threats to keep the other person in the relationship. Now, recognizing that you're in a relationship where you feel trapped is a difficult and painful realization. It can be tempting to minimize the situation, to make excuses for your partner's behavior, or to convince yourself that things will eventually get better. But the truth is, feeling trapped is a sign that something is deeply wrong. It's a sign that your needs are not being met, that your boundaries are being violated, and that your emotional well-being is at risk. Remember, you deserve to be in a relationship where you feel loved, respected, and free to be yourself. You deserve to be with someone who celebrates your growth, supports your dreams, and makes you feel safe and secure. Thank you for joining me on this journey, my friends. Remember, recognizing the signs of an emotionally draining relationship is the first step towards creating a healthier and happier future for yourself. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And please, share this video with anyone who might be struggling in silence. You never know who might need to hear these words today. Remember, you are worthy of love, you are worthy of respect, and you are worthy of a relationship that nourishes your soul. Don't ever settle for anything less. See you in the next video.